Hello, my love, and welcome to another episode of FEMPIRE Builders with your host, Michelle Hext. Today, I'm going to talk to you about some alternative marketing strategies, especially if you are somewhat of an introvert, you don't like to show your face, and you're also looking for an alternative to meta ads because a lot of the time, ads work, they definitely work, but it's becoming very, very crowded. And I don't know, I just like to be in the blue ocean. You know how we talk about red ocean, blue ocean? Red ocean strategy is where there is blood in the water because the competition is fierce and everybody's trying to fight for position. And blue ocean is where the water is blue and clear and there's not many sharks swimming in it or people swimming in it because not enough people have found out about it. And podcast promotion is what I'm going to be talking about. But let me just set the scene for the morning. It is Monday morning here. I've spent the weekend largely offline as usual. So I'm fired up and ready to go. But it's going to be 40 degrees here today, Celsius. So that means it's hot. So I was out the door a little after 6 getting my walk done, and I've been chatting with my daughter, and I've been sitting on the front veranda with my journal and spending some time with myself before I share myself with the world. And so here we are. That's what I've been up to this morning. I've also posted on my Insta and my Facebook page. So it's been quite productive. It's about 9:30 in the morning and it's been very, very easy. All right. So let me talk about this podcast strategy. I have had my podcast going for a little while, and at different times, I do invest in marketing my podcast so that it gets to more listeners. And I stopped doing that over the last couple of years because I hadn't really been very happy with the content. And I'm back in my zone. So I'm ready to start to promote it again because I really feel like I'm in my zone. And excited to create the podcast every week, not overthinking it and just sharing what's on my heart. And so I am ready to use podcast promo as my number one marketing strategy in 2025. And let me tell you why, and let me tell you why it's a good idea for you too. So, why? I ran a test of a 1-day promo, and there are another 3 more days coming up. And in 1 day, just on my Spotify analytics, so I didn't have a look at the Apple ones, but on my Spotify analytics, I had 600 or close to 700 or 612 actually, I think, uh, streams. And let me think about what I'm trying to say here. So it was pushed into the Spotify like promo in front of people, and it got around 660 people reach, and 99.2% of those people listened to the first little bit and continued to stream it, which is crazy good. And I think the fact that I don't have an intro has probably got something to do with that. But anyway, a little hack there for you. But um, so that's an incredible statistic. In that 1 day, just on Spotify, I also had something like 12 new subscribers. So this is a 4-day test, right? So imagine that we just times those numbers by 4 and we're just talking Spotify. So that means over a 4-day promo, there'll be close to 50 new subscribers. There will be, just from the promo, there will be about 2,400 people that it's going to get in front of. And if that 99.2% rate stays, like that's an insane statistic. And if that maintains, that means that there's going to be a lot of reach, there's going to be a lot of action taken. And of course, I talk about things on my podcast that inspire people to take some action, right? So, how much do you think that cost me? And how much time do you think I spent on the promo? Well, I can tell you that the 4-day promotion has cost me or will cost me less than 30 Australian dollars. Crazy. And It took me less than 5 minutes. It took me about 3 minutes to do the promo. And yes, it's very targeted. So can you imagine spending $30 on Meta, Australian dollars? Imagine what you would get through your Facebook and Instagram ads if you spent 30 bucks versus this. So it's really significant. It's a very efficient, very effective way to build your reach using paid traffic and to get people to take the next step and then ultimately to become, clients or to buy your products, right? The reason that I love this strategy is one, I love creating my podcast. I love creating my podcast. I just enjoy sitting down and maybe I just like the sound of my own voice. I don't know, but I feel like I have something of value to share. So I really enjoy this process. And it's something that's very effortless to me. So I'm sitting here, I haven't had my shower yet. I've been out for my walk and I've come back and had my coffee and did some journaling and stuff like that. But I don't have to do my hair or my makeup or get myself presentable to be able to create my podcast. I don't need to do that. I just need to sit down, hit start, and then start recording, right? So that is pretty good. And then I really don't need to do much else to get it pushed out to get people engaged. So I love that. I also love the fact that my inquiries that come from my podcast are hot. And the reason they're hot is because if you listen to one episode and you like the way that I present and the things that I've got to say and you think there's value in it, you're going to go back and listen to others, right? You're going to listen to more. You can binge on this stuff. You can go for a walk for an hour or two and just listen to this podcast and you'll get to know me. This is probably the closest that you'll get to really get the real me because there's none of the shenanigans that have to go on with curating the perfect fucking Instagram post or anything else, right? It's just me and the microphone sharing with you what I think is going to be valuable for you. And so if you love the podcast, you're going to love working with me. It's really that simple. And you're going to come to me. I'm not going to be pushing, pushing, pushing. So you will discover the podcast. If you are a new subscriber, you'll have discovered the podcast and you'll be listening and you'll be like, oh, I think I like her take on this thing. And you'll start to listen and potentially at some point you're going to say, I'm going to go and have a look at what she's got to offer. And it just fills programs, it fills coaching spots, it fills sales quotas for the week or the month or whatever it is. And I don't have to do anything more. So it suits my introverted personality. It is also the closest you'll get to know who I really am and what I really think and what I really want to say without all the bells and whistles of social media. And you get to make a decision. You get to go as deep as you want on the content. You'll get to see that there's, a whole bunch of content there. And you'll get to see for yourself if I'm somebody for you or not. And by the time you come to me to reach out to work with me at the highest level, you will already have spent a lot of time with me. So your inquiry is going to be hot, right? And so this is something anyone can do. So what I want you to understand about this is that anyone can create a podcast. I don't have anything fancy. I am sitting in front of my computer with my Rode microphone, recording directly into Riverside. I have the free version, and then I use creators for Spotify. So I distribute through there. It goes to Apple, it goes everywhere else. These days, I don't have an intro, I don't have an outro. I'm just not interested in that. I just want to keep it simple. And it costs me nothing to produce this. I don't have a podcast producer. I don't need any of that fancy stuff, and neither do you. You just need to have a message that's on your heart and you need to have a strategy behind it. So, what do I mean by that? So, I'm not just saying to you, launch a podcast tomorrow, start creating content, and then promote it. That's not what I'm saying, because unless you are in your sweet spot and you have your signature offer or a couple of offers that you really love and stand behind and you're primed to take on new clients and your message is very clear, you know what you want to say, you know who you're talking to, all of those things. So all of those things have to be in place. So podcast promo and running a podcast is no more or less strategic than if you were running meta ads, right? So what I'm saying is, if you came to me and you said, I want to start using Facebook and Instagram ads to, film my programs, I would say, no problem. I'm not going to get you to just run an ad campaign. We're going to go back to the very beginning. We're going to have a look at, okay, who are you? What do you stand for? Who is your market? What is the problem you're solving? How do we, what is the signature offer that you're going to create? What is the outcome that you deliver to your clients? What is your core messaging around? There's so much that we would need to do and build out before you ever run an ad, right? And it's the same for this. So it's not difficult. It's quite simple, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to do it, but you've got to be strategic and you've got to have your ducks in a row for it to be effective, right? Just like any other form of marketing. So what I want to say to you today is, have you got a podcast that's sitting there not getting the listenership? Here's the thing that I want you to understand more than anything else. The people that you see that have, 1 million downloads, just like, any other person that's created a large audience and following and a lot of, perhaps engagement for all of those things, they didn't just accidentally end up, inverted commas, famous. They invested in the strategies to get them to that place. There's definitely people that go viral and things like that, but are you going to wait? Are you going to place all your bets on going viral and hope like hell that you go viral? Or are you going to create content to the best of your ability and then invest in the traffic so people get to see what it is that you have to say? Because the message that you have, if you're really clear on the message and you love what you do and you love your work and you just feel really good about everything that you're doing, but you're not making enough money because you don't have enough eyes or ears on your business, then you're going to waste. And it's not that people don't want to buy from you or that your products suck or that you're not good enough. All it means is that you don't have enough exposure, and we have to invest in exposure. And some people are going to love you. Some people are going to be meh and move on, and other people are going to loathe you potentially if you're a polarizing individual. And that's all fine, right? Traffic just gets us there faster. And this is another strategy for that. And in 2025, this is going to be my number one investment in my marketing. It feels very, very aligned for me to be marketing in this way. And I, trust that it's going to do exactly what I want it to do. I love that when I look at it statistically, that the results are so much more economical than meta ads, but they're also more targeted and they're more clear, right? They're super, 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 super clear. It's very clear that the people that are coming are targeted, and it's a clear, the strategy is, it's very clear to me why it works, how it works, and all those sorts of things. So I guess what I want to say to you is, if this is a strategy that you would like to bring forward in 2025 and you want some support around this, then please check out my S.H.E Mastermind. This is not a strategy that's going into FEMPIRE Builders, because FEMPIRE Builders is, it's my low cost membership, and this strategy is just too valuable to offer to that price point. And it's something that, my masterminders will invest in, and they will have access to this. So it'll be a complete strategy. It'll be everything that they need to do to either launch their podcast and get it up. So there'll be a framework around, what will your podcast even be about, that sort of thing. And then there will be the promo side of it. This is how you promote in this way, and this is how you do it, and this is what it is going to cost, and this is how you go about making this happen. They'll have access to the entire strategy. And I'm very excited for my masterminders in 2025, because it's going to be one of those strategies that just collapses time frames for them. definitely other strategies that I'm introducing in the mastermind for 2025 as well, but this is my favorite, and it's the one that I'm really going to be leaning on in 2025 just because it ticks all the boxes for me. So if it ticks all the boxes for you too and you want some support around that, then go to michellehex.com. The mastermind is the homepage. There's also some links below if you want to go check out FEMPIRE Builders. There's a lot of marketing strategy within FEMPIRE Builders, just this isn't. I have spoken about this in FEMPIRE Builders, but I'm not giving you like everything for you to go and implement it yourself, because yeah, it's safe for my masterminders. Anyway, that is it. Next week, I think I am going to do a 2024 wrap up and talk about the things that I learned in 2024 that were very, very valuable to me. And I will also be talking about what I'm taking with me into 2025, what I'm leaving behind in 2024. And it'll be my second last podcast. I will go through the holiday season and continue to deliver the podcast. Anyway, have an amazing week, and I will speak to you next week. Bye for now.